Welcome to the promise of forever, but before we go on, who are you? Hairstyle choices. Great. Anika Basin. The gentle breeze of the New York City summer night fills the air with romance, ripe with possibilities. Butterflies fill your stomach as you stare down at the handsome man across the table from you. Rishi, tonight has been, dare I say, perfect. Rishi reaches for your hand. At his touch, your pulse quickens like an electric thrill running through you. It's been everything I've hoped for. An excellent meal, wonderful conversation, and best of all, a beautiful woman. You avert your gaze as your cheeks warm at his words. I must ask, what did you expect when your parents arranged our meeting? Honestly, I expected to find my love match. I'm a hopeless romantic at heart. I've always adored those stories of love at first sight. So when I read your profile, I just had a feeling, you know? The corners of his mouth tugged to the side in a coy smile. Of dread and anguish? Of course. Don't forget the despair, too. It's a winning combination. The two of you share a laugh. It feels just right. Rishi's thumb presses into your palm, causing your heart to flutter. But more seriously, now that you've met me, what do you find? Did I live up to your expectations? I found, well, do I need to say it? You lean across the table, wanting to savor this moment. Everything about Rishi draws you into his orbit. It's impossible to escape. I know it's just the first meeting between our families, but why wait? I think we would make each other very happy if we married. Can he be serious? It's as if he just read my mind. You open your mouth to say yes when... Anika, did you hear the question at all, child? Your mother's words pull you sharply from your daydream. You look back at her and the matchmaker watching you expectantly. You stare at the biodata for Rishi in your hands, quite literally the man of your daydream. Sorry, I was just thinking about Rishi, that's all. It's all right. What do you think about Rishi Kalvani? I think... it's too soon to know if we have chemistry. Right now he's just a piece of paper. How do I know if we'll have that spark? You read too many romance novels. Marriage is much more than a spark. Isn't it right, Niraj? Your father sighs, peering up from his newspaper in the corner of your living room. Yes, dear, much more. See? Your father agrees with me. How can you fault Rishi? After all, he's been the CEO of Globite MedTech since his father passed away. Has an MBA from Harvard, is from a good family. What's not to love? Yes, he does seem like a good fit, at least on paper. That's why we're meeting his family tonight. Tonight? But what if we don't match in person? Then I'll find another match, a better match, specifically for you, Anika. But I don't think you'll have any issues. I can already see how the stars have aligned. If the stars say so. It'll be a great meeting, won't it, Niraj? Of course, dear. After all, the whole family will help. Oh no, you don't mean everyone. Yes, everyone. Match, Chapter 1. Once the matchmaker leaves, your mother ushers you into your bedroom and gets to work. I've set out your best outfit. You can borrow my new necklace, the one your father got me. Thanks, Mom. Now let's get dressed quickly. Vashuda is on her way here. We need all the help we can get. Vashuda, Auntie, I hope Petri comes to. I could do with my favorite cousin's pep talks. Just don't try to be too funny. Your jokes can be bold. We don't want to offend. You swallow a sharp response, leaving your mother to start styling your hair. Despite her good intentions, her words sting. Oh, and whatever you do tonight, make sure you let Rishi lead the conversation. Men love that. Make him think he's in charge. Why can't I just be myself? I never said you can't. Just be a version of yourself that lets him lead the conversation. Things will be easier that way, trust me. No promises. I'll make it work, I always do. Good girl. My favorite ladies, are we done getting dressed? Your father saves the day. Stepping into your room, your mother's smile hints at her approval. Oh, we won't take too long. Right, Anika? On it, Mom. Later that afternoon, you position your dress to fall elegantly as your Aunt Vashuda lets herself in your room, followed by your cousin. My beautiful Anika, you were made to be a perfect bride. Sup, cuz? You look good. Thank you, Vashuda, Auntie. Preeti. I appreciate you both coming to help. Of course, someone has to help you refine your manners. Anika knows how to eat, Mom. She's a college graduate, not a child. But sometimes she can fool me. Now, where's your mother? Preeti gives you a sympathetic look and rolls her eyes. Not sure what else I expected when Mom said Vashuda Auntie was coming to help. Vashuda, when did you get here? As your mom escorts her down to the living room, Preeti hangs back for a moment to hug you tight. Sorry in advance about Mom. She's just excited that one of us took the matchmaker route. Come on, you did well for yourself. She loves Otto. She does now, but my marriage wasn't quite what she had in mind. We shouldn't keep everyone waiting, though. Mom really wants to go over your table manners. She knows I graduated top of my class, right? Maybe that's why her hopes are high. Together, you join your extended family in the living room where Vashuda adjusts your posture. Sit up straighter now. No, not like a telephone pull. Just like you're paying attention. Right. You're breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth, quietly. There's nothing less attractive than audible breathing. Breathe like I have a secret. Got it. Preeti stifles a laugh as her mother goes on to correct, well, basically everything. Stop fidgeting so much. You'll spill your drink all over him. She might need a drink after this. We all will. To celebrate the successful meeting, yes. I still can't believe Anika's actually doing this matchmaker thing. I couldn't believe you married someone you met at a bar, but we accepted it, Preeti. And this is Anika's choice too, you know. That's right, and anyway... Not everyone has your luck. You and Otto hit it all. But for most people, it's hard to find someone you actually share a connection with. And there's nothing wrong with your parents guiding you towards that connection. It shows that Anika has great respect for her elders. Your cousin sighs and shrugs. Point taken, Mom. Just then your phone buzzes. It looks like it's time to go. Your aunt gives you an approving nod, and Preeti pulls you in for one more hug. Good luck, seriously. I hope it's everything you want it to be. So do I. You climb into your parents' car as your dad drives you towards the restaurant and Rishi. Just remember what we talked about. Smile. Be polite like always. And if they say anything you don't like, we can talk about it later. Isn't that right, Naraj? She gives your father a pointed look and he nods, tapping his fingers on the steering wheel. Yes, dear. Marriage is all about compromise. But I'm sure a girl like you can get along with anyone. He gives you a fond, encouraging smile as the car pulls up to the restaurant. Here goes nothing. As you walk into the minimalistic chic restaurant, you look around for the man of your daydreams. Is Rishi late? I don't see... Ah, there's his mother, Jamila Calvoni. Stand up straight, Anika. You follow your parents to a table in a private corner of the restaurant where an imposing woman glances up at you. Anika Beeson, I assume. Yes. Namaste, Auntie. You press your palms together and bow slightly to Jamila. Namaste, Auntie. Namaste, Anika. You're as cultured as you are beautiful. She laughs politely, and your mother gives you a small, encouraging smile. Off to a good start. Please meet my parents, Niraj and Matu Basin. You wait for your parents to take a seat before you join them, and Jamila notes the gesture with a calm, approving nod. You'll have to please forgive my Rishi. He's on his way, but the business has been keeping him very busy. Does this happen often? Not usually. Ever since his father passed and Rishi took his place as CEO, he tends to bury himself in work. But I assure you, you needn't worry. He's very committed to a family, then. Oh, yes, always taking care of the family legacy. I just wish he did the same for himself. Your mother smiles at Jamila while your father scans the menu. I'm certain he'll be here soon. You smile politely as she checks her phone. There's a very slight purse to her lips, the only hint of unease in her poised expression. I look forward to meeting him. 5 minutes pass. You keep up the polite smile as your mother and Jamila make small talk. 10 minutes pass. He's bound to be on his way. But 30 minutes later, there's no sign of Rishi. Your mother and Jamila's small talk grows increasingly strained as you whisper to your dad. Is he even coming? At this point, I doubt it. My dear, 5 more minutes and we... thank you all for waiting. Traffic was a nightmare. Okay. The man that approaches your table is nothing like you expected. There's a palpable charisma to him that no photo could ever capture. Here's my busy son. It looks like this meeting finally won out over work. Jamila gives him a pointed look, clearly expecting an apology, but the apology never comes. Rishi just smiles and slides into a seat right beside you, loosening his collar. He's tall, dark, and handsome, and what a voice. But his attitude... It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. and Mrs. Basin. Especially you, Anika. Rishi. It's nice to meet you. Finally. He laughs dryly. Of course, it's so nice to meet you too. I wasn't being Sure, we both know how the song and dance goes, don't we? We wine and dine each other, make awkward small talk over mildly overpriced food, and barely get to know each other for the next half an hour. So, do we have to keep pretending we want to be here, or can we just get through this? Rishi! You lean in closer, a little heat creeping in your voice despite your best efforts. I never said I was pretending. Maybe you shouldn't make assumptions when we've only just met. So I should assume this is you trying to be friendly? Interesting. Blood rushes to your cheeks as he scores another jab. He clearly doesn't want to be here. Everything about him screams it. At least one of us is making an effort. Despite your tone, he looks amused. That's unexpected. You study his dark eyes, trained on you with intent, and realize just how close you've gotten. Eager to please, aren't you? The dutiful daughter, top of her class, etc., etc. So you've done a little homework on me. Congratulations. The amusement in his eyes gives way to a small smile, and you feel a sudden burst of pride at having coaxed one out of him. If there's one thing you should know about me, it's that I always do my homework. Jamila, Niraj, perhaps we should give them some space to get to know one another. Yes, why don't I give you a tour? Basalt is quite an exclusive venue, after all. Rishi nods, and your parents and his mother stand and head down the nearest hallway. I should have guessed your family hasn't been here before. This place is members only. Do you ever take anything seriously? As a waiter places a meal in front of you both, Rishi shrugs. My work, my family, things that matter. His words sting, but his gaze is intent, almost like he's challenging you to tear down his walls, or maybe... Breathe, Anika. Maybe he's just hiding how nervous he really is, too. Look, can we start over? I know who you are, Anika. I know why you're here, too. I've done this more times than I can count. This? Go over the latest dossier my mother's emailed me every week. Meet the latest girl. Rinse and repeat. Frankly, I've always considered it a waste of time, but if I go to a few meetings, my mother gets off my back, so it's a small price to pay. He's certainly not afraid to say whatever he wants to. Must be nice. You feel a tug in your belly as you pick at your food. Rishi's eyes are on you, waiting for something. I'm gonna match his energy. He likes a challenge. Screw it. I'm not letting him talk down to me, no matter what my mom would have to say about it. Maybe you're the reason none of these meetings have worked out. After all, you're the only common denominator. In a beat, his lips curl into a smirk. Quick on the comeback. It's good to know. But you'll have to do better than that if you want to get under my skin. You're not perfect either, Anika. There's a reason you're on the matchmaker's list, too, instead of happily married. You've been trying to rein in your feelings, but that is too much to bear. I'm starting to see why you're still on the same list. What is your problem, anyway? I've been trying to give this a chance, but it seems like you just came here to waste my time. Something shifts in his eyes as your voice rises. You start gathering your things, and he sits up a little straighter. Anika, wait. I already did for half an hour before you managed to grace my family with your presence. I'm done. You get up, your head swirling with indignation, anger, hint of disappointment that you try to push down. Get in his space. You rest your hands on the edge of the table, overshadowing Rishi as he sits, and drop your voice to a harsh whisper. Whatever game you're playing, I won't be your pawn. Find someone else. Goodbye, Rishi. I'll catch a cab home. Mom and Dad aren't going to be happy when they hear about my little outburst. But the moment you flag down a passing cab and slide inside... Wait, please. Rishi slides in after you, shutting the door behind him. Just hear me out. He reaches out to take your hand. His touch is surprisingly gentle, and for a moment some of the anger ebbs away. You have exactly 5 seconds before I ask the driver to throw you out of this cab. Then I'll start with the most important part. I'm sorry. Was that an actual apology? Yes, something I should have given you the second I got here. Look, I never wanted to come to this meeting. You've made that abundantly clear. But my mother's been begging me to settle down and marry for years. My father, I promised him on his deathbed that I would. Hence the matchmaker. I've met a lot of women since then, none of them worked out. I just assumed you'd be the same way.
Maybe. They would have if you gave them a chance.
He winces a little, even wincing. He's undeniably handsome. Fair, I deserve that. But look, you're different, Anika. No other woman has ever stood up to me like that before, gotten in my space.
In my defense, you deserved it.
He nods, as if he only is just remembering he's still holding it. He finally lets your hand go. I did. And you're also the only woman who's dared to tell me as much, or hold her own when I was being...
prickly?
Yes, prickly. Look, I'm not good at this sort of thing.
I would never have guessed.
But I think there could be something here between us. I think you feel it too. You exhale, fidgeting with your hands.
Washuda Auntie would be tisking under her breath if she could see you now. You haven't given me much of a reason to trust you. If anything, you've shown me that we're opposites in every way that matters. His bluntness, his rudeness, how carefree he seems.
I know I must be well outside of your comfort zone, but you can't tell me you don't feel anything, or any hint of a spark.
He does make my heart race. Something about him makes me want to take the risk. Maybe he could be my chance at an actual romance, like all the movies I watched growing up.
But just then the cab pulls up to the curb outside your family's house. You hesitate, glancing out the window towards your door. What do you say, Anika?
Okay. You get one more shot. But you'd better not stand me up again. There's more than just me and you at stake here, you know. My mom and dad, they trust me. They're counting on this. I don't want to disappoint them.
I understand that. Rishi reaches for your hand again, and you let him take it. You can't help the way your heart leaps at his touch. But if I only get one shot, I shouldn't waste any more of your time. Let me show you my favorite club in the city.
Right now.
Why wait? You deserve a chance to loosen up and get to know each other away from our parents' watchful eyes.
Our parents, who are probably waiting for us back at the restaurant, wondering what happened.
Hey, I know that face. Stop thinking about Mom and Dad for a change. Just think about yourself for once. Come and live a little. Sneak off to the club with Rishi. Rishi grins, leaning back in his seat as he calls out to the driver. Driver, there's been a change of plans. Take us to Club Fontaine.
I think I've heard of it before.
What have you been doing all these years?
Maybe I was waiting for you, after all.
It's a risk, but you're rewarded when he flashes you a smile in return. You sit in a shared silence as your taxi cruises downtown. But when you finally arrive at Rishi's favorite club, you're not sure what you're looking at. Every surface is splattered in drips of neon colors, walls, the floor. It's kind of cool looking.
Rishi, why is this place covered in glow-in-the-dark paint? Why all the people covered in glow-in-the-dark paint? Is this some kind of late Holly party?
As you gape at the clubgoers around you, all splattered with bright colors, Rishi grins, shrugging off his sports coat. Not quite. Rishi places his hands on your shoulders. His touch is unexpected, and it takes you a second to realize he's guiding you towards the band on stage. Look up there. As the band's drummer plays along to its pulsing rhythm, paint on his drums flies off with every beat, splattering the crowded in front of him.
That's
Awesome. I had a feeling you'd like it. The music draws your bodies closer, and you fight a coy smile.
Not something I've seen before, but there's a first time for everything.
Then we should make the most of it. Rishi suddenly takes your hand, pulling you into the dancing crowd. The loud music pulses through you, and so does the thrill of Rishi's touch.
I never thought such a small touch could feel like this, so raw.
Earth to Anika, are you with me?
Absolutely. Let's dance.
Rishi smiles, his body pushed closer to yours by the overwhelming crowd. As you start to move, it's almost too much.
There's so many people here, so much movement.
But, as if he can sense you tensing up, Rishi protectively slips an arm around your shoulder. His body is like a shield between you and the chaos of the crowd. Hey, eyes on me, I got you, okay? Rishi's low voice sends tingles down your spine. The earnest look in his eyes soothes your racing thoughts.
Okay, I trust you.
Before you can finish the word, paint splatters across the crowd from the stage, splashing you and Rishi.
Ah!
Hey, look at that. He gestures down at his paint-splattered clothes and grins. We match.
I don't know. I think I got the worst of it.
As you wipe some paint from your face, Rishi reaches down to one of the colorful streaks on his shirt and smears it across his own cheek. How's that?
Better. I thought we came here to dance.
At the hint of your boldness in your voice, he smiles even wider. Rishi's body sways with the music paint, accentuating every inch of him. We'll dance next to him. Your body wants to move towards him, but you hold yourself back.
I don't want to give him the wrong idea.
You turn so your shoulders barely brush past his, following his lead. You move like he does, swaying in time with the music.
But still, this is fun. More fun than I've had in ages.
And even as you create some distance between your bodies, you catch Rishi smiling at you, lips curving into a cocky grin. Enjoying yourself?
I've had worse nights.
I'll take that as a yes. He flashes you a charming smile and you can't help but laugh.
Who is this guy and where was he earlier? It's almost like being around our parents made him a different person.
His hands and his hips move in sync with yours. The prickly Rishi you met at the restaurant is gone, and this Rishi is a great dancer. But all too soon, the song ends. You turn to Rishi with a breathless smile.
That was
too much.
Incredible.
I'm glad, but you do have rather a lot of paint on you. He points and you can feel a droplet of paint trailing down your cheek. He cups your face in one strong hand. Let me get that for you. Using his thumb, he gently brushes the droplet of paint from your cheek. His eyes are dark and trained on yours, suddenly intent. The music, the paint, dancers all seem to fade away as you gaze into his eyes.
What is this feeling? Is he about to kiss me?
Your body seems to float as his touch draws you into his orbit.
I had a great time with you tonight.
He smiles, leaning a little closer. I know. I tend to have a sixth sense about these things. His smile is so gorgeous that you have to glance away before he catches you staring.
Then is your sixth sense telling you that I could use some fresh air?
It is, now. Come on. You follow Rishi outside, covered in neon colors you'd never be seen in otherwise. So, I think it's safe to say that I impressed you.
You seem awfully confident about that.
Oh, but you didn't tell me I was wrong. You can't resist rolling your eyes a little, which only makes him grin more broadly. If you thought that was fun, just wait until you see our next stop. You've got to see the...
Rishi, we can't. Tonight was amazing, but we ran off in the middle of a family dinner. They're probably all worried about us.
Rishi's eyes darken for a moment. He says nothing, and he nods, taking a step back from you. Very well, I understand.
I wasn't trying to... I really had a good time to...
But he barely even looks at you. Good night, Inigo. Before you know it, he's hailing down a passing taxi and climbing inside without a backwards glance.
What just happened? Did I just ruin everything?
Technically, yes and no. You make your way home alone, and of course, when you step inside, your parents are there waiting.
Anika, where have you been?
We were worried you ran away, or that Rishi gave you some trouble.
Now you're back home and covered in... What is this? Paint? Are you alright?
I'm fine. I passed some construction on the way home.
So you had time for a leisurely walk, but not time to tell us where you were going, or to explain why you embarrassed us so badly. Your outburst at the restaurant was unacceptable. Think of how that made us look to Jamila and Rishi.
You glance at your father, hoping for sympathy, but when he says nothing, you know you're really in trouble.
Mom, Rishi wants nothing to do with me. You were right, I messed up. Blame the jokes if you have to. But any chance I had with him is over.
Disappointment washes over your mother's features, which is somehow worse than her anger. Your father takes her hand and gives it a squeeze.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Your mother sighs, and you brace for an outburst.
It's settled then. If you kids had a misunderstanding, you can talk it out tomorrow.
Talk it out? What do you...
Jamila and I already discussed it, and she agrees. Tomorrow you're going to visit Rishi at his office. You'll bring him a home-cooked meal and prove that you'll make the perfect wife.
Oh, you poor thing. Without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember that if you did enjoy the content, to like, share, and subscribe. Head down description, check out things, ways to support, and leave a, basically, comment down below letting me know what you thought. Also, hey, guess what? In case you've never seen Kali books that I've done with Romance Club, long story short is I got to use some new voices that you guys have never got to hear if you've only focused on choices. So, yeah. Let me know your thoughts on that, because all new voices. I've put not for me, because it's not for me for now. We will see if my opinion changes over the next few chapters. From my understanding, though, this is a, let me quote this. It is a regional short-form book to choices, which will only have 4 chapters. They already have a sequel out. The regional release, which was in India, was back in 2023. And now that there is a general release to the app, well, that's now. So, yeah, just thought I'd let you know that. Basically, you know, we're gonna, seems like some of these regional things that have been in other countries will slowly filter back to us, which is kind of cool to, you know, have some cultural niceties and things like that. Yeah, no, that's all I'll leave you with. Catch y'all later, peace out.